For our restorative practice this evening, you'll need just a few props that you can gather from around your home. I'll be using yoga bolsters tonight, but sofa and chair cushions work equally well. We just need something to support the body so that we can drape ourselves over it in a relaxed posture. I also have just a small hand towel that I have rolled up into a cylinder that makes a perfect support for the back of the neck. A big folded blanket is also helpful because it provides support. We want support props and supports that don't compress too much. Bed pillows don't usually work too well, but if that's all you have, grab it and keep it. We'll find a way to utilize it. Coming to a comfortably seated position upon the floor, we'll begin our practice with some centering breath. I love to use my Hoberman sphere as a mechanism for pacing and timing. We know that we breathe whether we pay attention to the breath or not. But we may not always remember that the brain and the breath are intricately and directly connected. And when the mind is disturbed, the breath is disturbed. So if we can soften and deepen and slow the breath, we can generally have a little bit more control over what's happening in the mind, especially in regard to repetitive thoughts and just an overly active mind. So just paying attention to the inhale, the pause after the inhale, and the corresponding exhale with a short pause after the exhale. Slowing and deepening the breath. And the challenge is to keep that nice, slow, even, deep pace throughout our practice. One of the motivators for us being together in this moment to practice restorative yoga is a little bit of extra busyness and chaos and uncertainty in the world around us. One of my most utilized breath practices involves using the hands. We use the hands in this next breath practice because the hands, as well as the face, have the highest concentration of nerve endings in the body. So when we place our hands upon the face, we're creating a closed circuit where energy can flow. So it's very calming to the nervous system and therefore to the mind. In this particular practice, we'll leave one hand resting on the side of the face. And if you're not comfortable touching your face, that's fine. Just let your hand rest close to your jawline and you'll get the exact same effect. With the opposite hand, I'm going to hold the palm open and place that palm maybe about 6 to 8 inches from your lips. And we'll breathe in through the nostrils and breathe out through gently pursed lips, almost as if you were blowing out birthday candles. Inhale through the nostrils, exhale through gently pursed lips into the center of your palm. And imagine if there were a birthday candle in the center of your palm. Your goal was simply to flicker the flame, not to extinguish the flame. And that just creates a little bit longer, more leisurely exhale. The trick here is to lengthen the exhale, soften and deepen the breath. Inhaling, exhaling. Perhaps even noticing the temperature of the breath as it falls into the palm of your hand. Feeling the breath move into the nostrils as you inhale. And then again, landing in the center of your palm. Feeling a sense of warmth or coolness. In this particular practice, you can leave your eyes open Or you can let your gaze fall. Whatever feels the most comfortable and safe for you. And then following your next exhale, let your hands just fall anywhere that they feel comfortable. And continue with that nice, long, slow, deep, and even breath. Feeling the sensation of your sitting bones resting upon the earth. And your spine growing tall and neutral out of the base of the pelvis. Our movement practice begins now, and we will start with a supported child's pose. If you have your couch cushions or yoga bolsters stacked one on top of the other, we'll take a kneeling position next to those stacked bolsters. We're going to support it a little differently than we did last week. For many of us, this posture of a deep flexion of the knee is quite uncomfortable and maybe not even viable. If you're feeling really uncomfortable here, grab that folded blanket and place it over your calves, right up to the backs of your knees, and see if perhaps when you rest your sitting bones onto that blanket, you have a little more level of comfort. And then we'll lean over the bolsters, and you can rest your elbows onto the supports and let your hands just simply wrap around the curves of your skull. Another option here would be to stack your forearms and rest your forehead. Many different ways you can support yourself here. You might even just let the bolsters meet your chest and your hands and arms rest upon either side. Continue with nice, deep, easy breaths. Continuing to lower your gaze or close your eyes if that feels comfortable for you. And of course, if you do, rotate your neck to one side. Make sure you take a few breaths with your neck rotated in the opposite direction. No place else to go, nothing else to be doing. Give yourself permission to simply be here now. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. No place else to go, nothing else to be doing. And if your knees are comfortable in that deep flexion without the blanket, you might consider taking a little wider stance between knees and ankles. And letting the hips sink down between the heels. Remember that this restorative practice is very much a personal practice, and you can move the props and rearrange the joints and muscles of your body into whatever position allows you to feel safe, comfortable, and above all, to feel a sense of relaxation in the muscles of your body. Our next posture is a supported frog posture. I'm taking one of my supports and moving it off to the side. And I'll keep one support, and I'm gonna rest it parallel to my yoga mat toward the back half. So the edge of it is maybe at about the center of your yoga mat. And from here, I'm gonna take a prone position, lying next to that support. And then I'll pick up the leg next to that support, bend it at the knee so that the knee is drawn up almost to hip height. And there's a 90-degree bend in the knee. This is a nice relaxing stretch for the inner thigh. You can stack your forearms and create a pedestal on which to rest your forehead. And then just relax your belly, soften into the breath. Remaining leg is lengthened and soft. And once again, we just sink into a nice, easy flow of breath. And while resting in half frog, notice any spaces within your body where there's muscular tension. You might feel that gentle pull on the inner thigh. You might feel tension elsewhere in the body. We're simply noticing with curiosity. We're not trying to fix anything or shift anything. We're just looking for a place of comfort to rest and breathe. In this posture, you might feel your belly pressing into the earth as the breath arrives in the lungs and the diaphragm descends and displaces your lower abdomen. Notice any spaces of holding in the body and just ask those places to relax, even if it's just 2 or 3%. Any move toward relaxation is definitely a win in our restorative practice. As long as you're breathing long and slow, you're doing perfect. Picking up the bent leg, lengthen that leg all the way back long. We'll press our palms into the earth on either side of the rib cage. And with activation of the core, press yourself back, lifting the hips. We'll just simply slide that couch cushion or bolster to the other side of your mat. Walk your hands forward and lower the length of your body to the earth. And then we're ready to pick up the opposite leg, create a 90-degree bend in the knee. That knee comes just about to hip height and the lower leg is resting on the upholstered cushion. And then we can stack the forearms and begin the process of breathing deeply and relaxing into our restorative half frog on the other side. Once again, just noticing any spaces where your body might be holding tension. Remember that sometimes there are spaces in our bodies where we've been holding tension for so long, we no longer have the capacity to even notice it. So be kind, offer yourself some grace, and just focus on finding moments of relaxation and deep, steady breath. With an inhale and the activation of your core, we'll pick up the bent leg, lengthen it all the way long. Press your handprints into either side of the rib cage and activate deep core and upper back. Passing through hands and knees and coming back upright. Our next posture will be placing our supports lengthwise on the mat. And it's up to you whether you're going to use 1 or 2. If you do use a height of 2 upholstered cushions, think about creating a stair step. And once you have your cushions, 1 or 2 in place, we'll bring the side of the pelvis up to the base of your stair steps. And we'll be bending the legs at about a 90-degree angle away from the props. And we're gonna take the forward leg, the one that's close, the leg that's attached to the hip closest to the bolsters. And we're gonna pick up that leg and just cross the legs. So we're closing the space between the inner thighs. I'm leaning into my right side and my right leg has lifted up and I've just crossed it over my left. And I have about a 90-degree bend at the knees and also in relation of torso to thighs. From here, we'll rest the side body onto the bolsters. And from here, we'll just take a moment to soften the side body, and that top arm is going to sweep overhead and meet the underneath arm. We're just feeling a sense of length in the side body facing the ceiling. Just relaxing here. And then we'll continue to build our side-lying sleeping eagle. Reaching for that rolled towel. I'm gonna place that underneath the side of my head so that I can lengthen both arms straight forward in front of my heart from my side-lying position. In eagle pose, we're alternating the stack of the knees and the stack of the elbows. So if you have your right leg stacked over your left elbow will stack over your right. If your left leg is stacked over your right, then your right arm will stack over your left. We'll stack the elbows, bend, and then just bring the forearms closer together. If it's within your natural flexibility to wrap the forearms and bring your palms into alignment, that's an option, but it's certainly not required. We can just simply stack the elbows and draw the forearms and fingertips closer together. We've got side body opening as well as some space being created across the upper back. But all the while, the body should feel supported. Once you've arrived in your posture, just simply relax and breathe. This is side lying sleeping eagle. Notice where you feel spaciousness in your body and also where you might feel some tension. I control my inner peace. Regardless of what chaos ensues around me, I always have the choice to take a nice, deep, easy breath and just simply be the observer. Unwrapping the forearms and elbows. Compress your palms to the earth and use the strength of your hands and arms to start to bring the shoulders, neck, and head back upright. And then you can uncross the legs and return to a seated posture. Just taking a moment here to notice if you have differing sensations between left and right after that side lying posture. You can just simply turn to the opposite direction and start to arrange your body. I'm going to take my props to the other side just because it doesn't feel that comfortable to turn away from all your lovely faces. So my props are stacked in the stair step configuration. My opposite hip is at the base of the stairs that I've created. Knees are bent and that forward leg pops over the other leg. The space between the inner thighs is pressed closed. And then from here, we'll start by just draping the side body over your stacked cushions. Take all the time you need to bring your body into a place of supported comfort. And then our first movement is to take that 3 top arm and sweep it all the way overhead, creating spaciousness in the top side of the body. And of course, if that arm resting overhead just simply isn't comfortable for your shoulder, that arm can rest forward, that's okay. Modify the practice intuitively so that it fits your body, your breath. Taking a few breaths to settle into this position. And then we'll finish building the posture, creating the arms. Where'd my towel go? Here's my rolled hand towel. Placing it underneath the side of my head so that now I can lengthen both arms straight out to the horizon before me. Same principles apply. As I gaze down, my left thigh is atop my right. So that means that on the opposite with the arms, my right elbow will sit over the left. Once the elbows are stacked, I'll wrap the forearms or just simply bring the backs of the hands together. And then soften into the posture with the ankles and wrists bound, the side body expanded. You might notice the sensation of the back of your rib cage expanding here as you breathe in, along with the side ribs facing the ceiling. In your side lying eagle's pose. Notice if there's any tension in the space between your brows, or especially at the jaw. Such an easy place for us to store some of our frustration. Relax the jaw, allow for white space between upper and lower. Relax the tongue within the floor of the mouth. Breathe. And then slowly unwrapping the forearms, releasing that tension, planting your palms to the earth, unwrapping the knees and thighs. Slowly, once again, return to seated posture. Let's go back to the breath that we practiced at the beginning with one hand resting along the jawline and the opposite hand about 6 to 10 inches in front of your parted lips, breathing in through the nostrils, exhaling, birthday candle exhale. Just imagine flickering that imaginary flame in the center of your palm. And with each exhale, feel every muscle in your body softening, even if it's just 1%. Sitting bones feeling a bit heavier upon the earth. And following your next exhale, just let the hands slowly find their way back to a resting place. Cast your gaze downward. Take a moment to notice if you can sense any shift in your nervous system. Maybe even a little slowing of the repetitive loop of thoughts. Our next posture is a supported back bend. Most of us will not need a lot of height to practice a supported back bend. I'm going to call in to use my folded blanket, which is just a little bit softer and has a little less loft or height than my bolsters. Now, if even your blanket feels like it's got a little too much loft for your back bend, you can always unroll part of it. So I've got a little heavier, higher section that's rolled here and just use the rest as cushioning. We'll place our sitting bones on one side of our support. Legs we're gonna leave our footprints flat initially. So your sitting bones are just sitting next to the rolled blanket or your support, and we'll slowly drop down into the elbows and drape your spine, the low back over your prop. Wiggle around enough until you get a place that feels comfortable, but we've got that support nestled right into the curve of your lumbar spine. Hands and arms can simply rest to the earth. If you're using the rolled hand towel for the back of the neck, find that. Position it. Our goal is to have the back ribs setting on the earth and the sitting bones and the pelvis resting on the other side. It might take a little practice to find just the right amount of support for your supported back bend. If your cushion is a little too much for your lumbar spine, you'll probably decide to keep your knees bent. That gives you the option to press into your footprints and lift your pelvis just a bit so you can take some of the extension out of your low back if it's uncomfortable. Once you find, or if you find the right amount of support, you might feel confident lengthening your legs and letting your toes roll out or in, whatever feels natural for your body. This is a supported back bend. We'll feel a little bit of length in the front of the lower abdomen. And more than likely, you're gonna feel some compression in the low back and the lumbar vertebrae. At any time, if your low back is uncomfortable and is talking to you, place at least one footprint back to the earth with a bent knee, perhaps both. Another option that gives you a little more intensity here is to take the hands and arms all the way overhead. So any combination of arms resting at your sides, arms swept overhead, knees bent with footprints flat, or legs long with ankles and toes softened. Wherever you land, take a few moments to just simply breathe. Feel the lower abdomen swelling with the breath as the diaphragm lowers and displaces the contents of your lower abdomen. We continue to maintain space between upper and lower jaw. Relax the creases between your brows and across the forehead. You might even get a sense of your brain resting in the back of your skull. Feeling grounded, lengthened. And of course, this is a bit of a position that can raise some sensation of vulnerability. If you're experiencing any discomfort in this posture, keep those hands closer to your heart or belly. And of course, keep your footprints flat to the earth if you're feeling any discomfort in your lumbar spine. Say restorative, supported back bend. Usually by this time, you're either so content here that you decide to stay, or you absolutely can't wait to get out of this posture. So I'll let you decide if you're ready to move on. We're simply going to push our footprints into the earth, pick up the pelvis, and roll to one side. So now that rolled blanket is doing the side waistband. We can lengthen both legs, or you can keep them gently bent if that's more comfortable. And that top arm will reach all the way overhead. Soften the knees and elbows. See if you could just cultivate a sense of heaviness with your body draped over the rolled prop. Notice which side of the spine the breath naturally migrates toward. No place else to go, nothing else to be doing. No decisions need to be made. It's futile to look back into the past. And we're definitely not here to foretell the future either. Bringing that top arm in front of the heart, place your forearm to the earth, roll over onto your belly. In this posture, in this prone posture, we're looking to feel and sense the base of the rib cage, your lowest ribs. And we're gonna set the lowest ribs right onto that rolled blanket so that they're feeling some support there. Forearms are pressed into the earth, forearms and elbows and palms, supporting the weight of the shoulders, neck and head. Definitely feeling a little compression in the low back, a nice stretch from the pubic bone right up into the rib cage, perhaps even all the way up to the notch in the base of your throat. And you can just let your long legs behind you relax. Or if you're looking for a little deeper stretch through the thighs, the quadriceps, you can bend your knees here and point your toes skyward. One note of caution here, just make sure that you're not allowing your spine to sink down between your shoulders. Use your deep core strength to hold the chest open and allow your neck and head to be a natural extension of the spine. You're feeling compression in the back of the neck. Lower your gaze to perhaps maybe about 12 to 18 inches in front of your fingertips. And of course, you can re-lengthen the legs to the earth at any time. And then from here, we'll go right on to the other side. Stretch the other side of the waistband. Placing your prop into the side waistband, lengthening the legs. And leave that underneath arm extended overhead. So it provides a resting place for your head. And then that top arm can reach overhead if that's comfortable for your shoulder. And then be sure to soften the knees and elbows. Transitioning into the final shape where your body is simply relaxed and draped over the prop at your waist. Deep, slow, steady breaths. And then bringing your forearms and palms back to the mat. And we'll slowly use the strength of your hands and arms to come back to a seated posture. And once again, we'll check in just to notice sensation in your physical body. Notice any shifts or changes in your breathing or breathing patterns. And also notice the state of your mind. Our next posture will be a supported back bend. We'll be rearranging our props. And I'm going to roll the full blanket up to be used underneath my knees. Bringing back the upholstered cushions or bolsters. And once again, I'm creating that stair step foundation. I'm going to keep my hand towel handy so that I have some support for the back of the neck if I need it. And once you have your props all organized within arm's reach, I'm going to back my pelvis up to the stair steps, situate both left and right sitting bones, and then position support behind the backs of your knees. From here, we'll place the hands on either side of your props and gently roll your spine up the stairs and across the surface. If you'd like, you can tuck that rolled hand towel behind the back of the neck or behind the occipital ridge of the skull, wherever it provides you the level of support that your body needs. Wiggle around, make any final adjustments. We'll just take a moment here, feeling safe and supported. And our next option, if you choose to participate, is to pick up one leg and bring your footprint to the rolled prop beneath. And we're going to let the knee drop out to the side. So we end up with a reclining tree pose. One leg fully extended, the other leg bent at the knee with the footprint resting on the inside edge of the still extended leg. Your tree can have very soft branches that are just resting to the earth, or you can take those branches all the way overhead or out to the sides if you're a big, mighty, reclining oak tree. Another option would be to lace your fingertips together and place your hands behind the skull and let your bent elbows drop out into gravity on either side. Relax into your reclining tree pose. And breathe. Check in with the muscles of your face. The face is a barometer that tells you what's happening in the rest of the body. If the brows are furrowed, the corners of your eyes are crinkled, and the jaw is tight, there's a likely chance that there's tension elsewhere in the body. Softening the muscles of your face very often creates less tension in the rest of the body as well. If you're practicing one bent knee, switch sides. Practice your tree pose on the opposite side. And if you'd like, you can change up the position of your hands, just testing out other configurations to notice what feels comfortable. What spaces in your body are opening naturally? Where does your body feel heavy? And where do you experience sensations of feeling light? It's The last option here is reclining bound angle, where we will bend both legs at the knees. So I've got my knees splayed out to the side and my footprints are mirror images of one another. And very often the inner thighs are just not that happy in this position because it really can tug at the inner thighs. You might place your hands on the outside edge of your thighs. Just wrap your fingers around your outer thighs and give those thighs a little bit of support in hopes that we can get a sense of release in the inner thighs. If you have yoga blocks, I know everyone doesn't have yoga blocks, but they can make a great support for the outer thighs so that you actually can get that sensation of release in the inner thigh. And always come back to the breath. We'll definitely want to use the outside edges of your hands to help guide the knees back together. And we'll let those knees just sway a bit from side to side. And then we'll gently roll off to one side, bracing those hands to the earth so that you can then use the strength of your hands and arms to walk yourself slowly back to a seated posture. We're preparing for our final posture and short guided meditation. For this last posture, let's see. This final posture is called Rolling Brook. I'm planning to use my smallest height for my low back. So once again, I'm using that rolled blanket to create support for the lumbar spine. I'll be using one of my upholstered bolsters as support under the backs of the knees. And I think I'm just going to use my rolled hand towel for the back of the head. Once you've decided how you're going to support the back of your knees, the lumbar spine, and the back of your head, you can make your way down to a supine position and begin final adjustments. This is called rolling brook pose because we have our heels connected to the earth, the pelvis connected to the earth, the shoulders and arms connected to the earth, and the back of the head, the lumbar spine, and the knees are all supported. And it creates this rolling configuration of the entire length of your body. You can almost imagine a wave of energy rolling through from the bottoms of your feet all the way through the crown of your head. You might imagine that rolling energy entering through the bottoms of your feet with the inhale and flowing all the way to the crown of your head. And then with the exhale, maybe that energy flows all the way back down in that wave-like rolling motion. Once again, softening any tension you encounter in your physical body. Inviting the mind to become a little quieter. Feeling all the spaces where your body connects to the earth. And in your mind's eye, just following the path of energy as it flows through your body. There's no prescribed path. Those of you that are a little more experienced with following energy through your body might even recognize roadblocks, blockages of energy movement. Be like water, find a way around those blockages. Let your body become heavier. It's almost as if the earth is rising up and you're just sinking in, heavy and relaxed. You can remain in this position. I'm going to shift to a seated posture and we'll practice a short meditation together. Our practice this evening is a rotation of consciousness. We're going to be visiting different spaces throughout your body, guiding your attention from one space within to another. All you need to do is breathe and listen, and to place your attention according to the instructions. Let's begin by taking your awareness to the fingertips of your right hand, the base of the fingers, palm of the hand, back of the hand, the right wrist, forearm, elbow, upper arm, shoulder, your entire right hand and arm, fingertips of the left hand, base of the fingers, palm of the hand, back of the hand, wrist, left forearm, elbow, upper arm and shoulder, the left arm, the entire left hand and arm, toes of the right foot, sole of the foot, top of the foot, heel, ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, right hip, the right foot and leg, the entire right leg, toes of the left foot, sole of the left foot, top of the foot, left heel, ankle, lower leg, knee, thigh, hip, left foot and hip, the entire left leg. Now guide your awareness to the pelvic floor and your sitting bones, lower abdomen, the sacrum, lower back, middle back, solar plexus, chest, area between your shoulder blades, the tops of the shoulders, neck, back of the head, sides of your head, crown of the head, ears, forehead, eyebrows, eyes, cheeks, nose, chin, tongue, inside of your mouth, upper teeth, lower teeth, upper lip, lower lip. In your mind's eye, visualize an imaginary line dividing your body into right and left. Bring your awareness to the right side, noticing all the physical sensations from your toes all the way to the crown of your head. See if there is any tingling or pulsing, sensations of warmth, muscle tightness, pain, or just a sense of comfort. Now bring your awareness to the left side and start to notice what the feelings on that side of your body are. Is there any tightness in the left side? Do you feel pulsing sensations, warmth, or coolness? Notice any discomfort, but also be aware of the areas that feel comfortable and open. Let the line that divides your body into right and left dissolve. Now visualize a line that divides you into front and back. First, bring your attention to the back of your body. Notice the parts of your body that connect to the earth and the props beneath. The heels, calves, backs of your thighs, buttocks. What parts of your back touch the earth? Notice your arms, hands, and then your shoulders and the back of your head. Can you allow your back body to descend further into the support of the earth? Or is there a sense of holding? Shift your awareness to the front of your body. Can you feel your breath gently washing over the front of your body? What are the sensations of the front of your body as compared to the back? Where in the front of your body is there tension? What feels the most open and relaxed in the front of your body? Allow the dividing line between front and back of your body to dissolve. As the line dissolves, get a sense of feeling completely connected. All parts of your body as one, completely connected. Connected to the earth, as if your body were melting downward into the support of the warm, healing earth. With each exhalation, feel your body's level of relaxation double, becoming twice as relaxed and even more connected with the earth. Twice as relaxed with each exhalation. And now slowly shifting your attention back to the breath. And with an exhale, slowly begin the process of transitioning back to a seated posture. But see if you can make that transition in slow motion, consciously slowing down all of your movements, knowing that you have all the time you need to return to a seated posture. Once you return to a seated posture, we'll complete our practice with mudra. Opening up your palms, we'll stack the right hand over the left and then let just the tips of your thumbs touch so lightly. Gently cup the palms, let your elbows splay out toward the sides. And just hold those stacked open palms right about the lowest ribs, right at your solar plexus. And we'll take a few final breaths together, focusing on that space where the tips of your thumbs gently connect. If it helps you focus into that single space, lower your eyelids. You can gaze down towards your thumbs or completely close your eyelids if that feels comfortable for you. And focus on that single space, taking one breath at a time. Setting the intention to not allow chaos to overwhelm. Remembering that we always have choice. Notice if there's tension building in any of the joints, hips, knees, ankles, toes, shoulders, elbows, neck, or jaw. Soften, relax the shoulders, breathe. Finally, without disconnecting the thumbs, we'll bring our palms into alignment. We're going to take a big breath. We're going to reach all the way up to the divine universe. One last stretch. If you want to take that side like a pendulum, side to side, maybe even just a few easy circles. And then returning to stillness, we'll draw all that calm energy right down in to make a direct deposit into the heart. Lower your chin halfway toward the chest. Feel the exhale through your nostrils landing in the space between your index and middle fingers. Soft belly, deep breaths. This concludes our restorative practice. Thank you so much for joining me. Just remember, life happens one long, slow breath at a time. Namaste.